Okay, so we're going to continue where we left off and take a look at forming those folds that come out from the mouth here. Let's make sure symmetry is on. So we're looking at these folds that sort of wrap around the mouth and help us smile and things like that. At this angle, I'm going to go ahead and just flatten out that lip a little bit, just so we can so see, I'm just kind of creating that, so it'll help us to really just kind of identify those planes a little bit better. We could always, what I normally do later is I smooth it out, and then I pinch it, the areas that I want to accentuate most. Okay, so this is the area. Now the things you have to understand is there's an empty hole, there's sort of this empty area here, but inside of here, like these parts of the face, it's all fat. Okay, up until the chin, which is sort of a bony area. Okay, so let's just go ahead and mark in that area. I'm going to grab my clay buildup. And again, from that area, I want to go around into that chin area here, just below it. I'm just going to smooth that out. And then in here, I'm going to decrease my brush size, and then from that inside of that nostril, I'm just going to pull that in, and I'm actually only going to smooth this side here. Let's kind of cut away in here a little bit better. And again, whenever I'm modeling, you always kind of lose, because it's sort of like working with clay, those forms. So I love just grabbing my flat brush, and notice how that really, it brings out some beautiful detail there when you're just kind of when you need it most. And then I'm just going to lightly hit that, lighter than that inside crease. So we're really just we're paying attention to where that is. So what I want to pay attention to is this shape is actually, because of that fatty area I was talking about, goes like this into the mouth. So we want to accentuate that as well. So I'm just going to throw a little bit of clay in here. Alright, and just a little bit out here to kind of help with that transition a bit better. And again, I don't want to break up this form. And see that you can start to see that this area is really starting to come together. And what I'm doing is, again, in a generic way, if we're looking at reference, we would pay attention. And again, the next video I make is going to, we're going to actually look at reference and try to resculpt it. But I'm really trying to accentuate that cheek area. Okay, and when we pull in the eyelids in here later, you'll be able to, this area won't look so massive, and we will pull the cheekbones up and we'll soften all of this out. Okay, so let's keep working on the mouth for now. And I'm going to just pull some more clay this way. I decrease the pressure of my brush a little bit. Yeah, that's better. And again, I'm laying down clay and smoothing out the underside so I can keep some of that form. Okay? And again, you have to make sure that, that your top lip is kind of coming over your bottom. And like I said before, if you go to your side view now, it should look pretty much like this. It's not going to be perfect because we haven't even broken up the side. And when we do the side in the 3/4, it's going to make a lot better sense. Right? Okay, there we go. I'm going to lower my intensity of my smooth. Now remember, your upper lip comes up and around. Let me accentuate that with my Damien stamp. Like this. And your bottom lip comes up and under. So you really have something like this. Okay, it's not, he's looking not only angry, but just kind of all matching that. Let's kind of pull this up a little bit so he doesn't look so pissed. Alright, I'm going to go in and clean this up a little bit. And I'm hitting P to switch between the perspective and orthographic mode. Alright, this area is getting lost in here too. Let's clear up our flatten brush. So flatten that out, and then flatten this. Again, I'm looking to form that little divot. Alright, I'm going to actually lessen the intensity on my Damien stamp. And I'm holding Alt here again to, and again I just want to make sure that I'm detailing this just so you guys can see it a little bit better. You guys see that? That's the area I'm following. I guess I could have masked that out to show you too. Okay, so I don't like to stay in one area too long because you can see it's starting to get more detailed in the mouth area. So let's jump back up here and kind of attack our eyes. So if we again start to sketch out to make sure that we're on the right track. And we say, okay, here's this, and it comes up here. We've got our eyebrow area. Okay. Then we have this area that scoops all the way down here. What we want to do is really flatten out this entire area in here, creating that cheekbone region. Okay, so just kind of when you do this, you visualize it, and then you immediately go into action. So let's start by, again, we're looking for the planes of the face, so we shouldn't have fat here at this point. So I'm just going to flatten this out and here just a little bit better. And I'm actually flattening it at an angle. There we go. And then I'm just going to flatten this whole cheekbone region. And the reason I'm doing this is because it helps me to visualize this area. And this should be lined up with the pupil, which should be lined up with that center point. And I love that mask tool. It just really helps me to sort of, I'm just going to draw that in a little bit with my clay tool. Alright, and what I can do at this point is I can just bring this whole area up a little bit because I'm going to work on the eyes. And I'm going to end this tutorial in a little bit, but again, I'm just going to shape this out. I'm making sure not to obstruct my original line, which was kind of the point of that. Alright, just make sure that I'm continuing with making sure I'm not losing that structure of the face. Alright, let's go in and planar that out again. And you can see even from just the little bit we fiddled with, we're actually getting a pretty good profile there. I might just kind of smooth that out a little bit. Okay, so let's just draw on our figure for a little bit here. So let's look at the planes here. We've got a clear indication here, which is good. We've got our indicator going down here, which is good. And again, if the person is sickly or uses drugs, you'll normally see the fat in this area sort of wither away. We've got a clear cheekbone going up to here and out to there, which is nice. We have our brow line here, our eye line here, which is wrapping around nicely like this. And again, all I'm doing for you right now is just highlighting how we draw, right? So because again, I can't emphasize enough that I sculpt like I draw, which might be a little, at this point, tiresome to hear. Okay, I'm going to end this tutorial here, and then when we get back, we'll continue to push towards the eyes.